Boss's Will Schuster is really fucking funny, though. Start your sublight engines. It's time for RuPaul's Pod Race, a queer Star Wars podcast. Don't know why I said it to that, but welcome to our discussion of the 4th episode of The Mandalorian, Season 3, The Foundling. My name is Ollie. I use any pronouns. You can find me on social media at OllieFresh. That's fresh with a PH. And my gender this week is Free Solo Paz Vizsla. Y'all remember Free Solo? It was like a documentary, and it was this guy, and he was like free climbing, and he was trying to climb this really tall mountain. I really should have said Free Solo Bo-Katan, because like she was like, I've been doing that since I was a kid, but I'm just thinking about Paz Vizsla trying to free climb and hey, speaking of that free climbing scene, did you guys see that Mandalorian that was so caked up and it focused on his ass for like a really long time?
I was gonna bring that up too. I was like, the Mando with the ass.
I was like, oh, I'm just like a man who's attracted to men. That's why I'm noticing this. But I'm glad that others brought it up because I was like, he has a lot of ass. Good for him.
No, because it was like front and center. Like we just had like a shot where it's like that random man like climbing and his booty right there in the dead center of the screen.
No, I was like, Carl Weathers, do you have a fetish?
Carl!
Anyway.
Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon, on a Wednesday morning, because that's when The Mandalorian. Anyway, sorry. Hi, I'm Klaudia. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me on social media at Klaudia says, Kaludia says. My gender this week is Mandalorian poetry slam snaps, because the way that they clap is by like hitting their like vam braces together, which first of all, that's very advanced technology and that's gotta not be good for it. It's like dropping a mic is actually really bad for a mic, but like I just, as soon as they started like doing that to clap, I was like, oh, Mandalorian poetry slam. I don't know why it was
interesting, because I was thinking golf clap.
No, I just thought about Paz Vizsla doing slam poetry.
Okay, no, because I really like this. I like the baby girlification of Paz Vizsla, this Paz Vizsla renaissance that we might see. And I know people have like shipped Paz and Din in the past, but like the idea of him becoming his own almost symbol of male softness, I would love that.
I'll also say this is a shout out to my friend Mars, who is not a big Star Wars fan. She's only a fan of The Mandalorian, and I respect her so much for that. And every time she sees Paz Vizsla, she just ignores that it's Jon Favreau in the suit, and she's like, I just imagine that it's Winston Duke under the suit, which I've thought about so much that when they revealed that kid was his kid, even though he's a foundling, he could be adopted, I was like, whose goddamn white baby is that? And for a moment, I gaslit myself.
Okay.
You know that there's a Paz Vizsla like Black Series action figure.
No,
I know. Like he's Jon Favreau under there. We have to.
I know that.
We have to put it to rest, not just for you, not for Mars. Like I think it's fine. I just believe Winston Duke could play a better, sexier character.
Absolutely.
Is the thing.
Winston Duke, please come to Star Wars where we can actually see your face. My God, please, thank you.
See, I was thinking he could be like the perfect fan cast for JCPenney, my Mandalorian OC, but okay.
What if JCPenney is actually the caked up Mandalorian that was climbing?
So true. Now we're talking.
I will say the concept of Winston Duke in Mandalorian armor should not be as attractive to me as it is, but
he's my live action Fen Rao fan cast.
Stop! Don't do that to him!
To who?
What's wrong with
No, Noah. Are you coming out as a Fen Rao hater? Fuck you, you nasty trick-ass bitch.
Bitch.
Hey,
I'm
Klaudia,
destroying you with my mind.
Klaudia, that was too far.
Oh, I don't get to bully the cis man?
Yeah.
As a woman, during Women's History Month, I get to bully the man on the podcast.
And you need a month for that?
Why not just do it every single day? I don't know.
It just feels so out of character and mean for you. Guys, wouldn't it be fucked up if I just was like started being really, really mean to Klaudia?
Anyways,
No, because I feel that Klaudia and I are like two old people fighting in the old folks' home, and they have like a year age difference, but they were both born in 1922.
Here's the problem: you're giving the two Muppets,
The
the old
Statler
man
and
Muppets.
Waldorf.
Yes.
I fear that Klaudia and I are kind of Statler and Waldorf coded when you think about it.
You know what's funny is that before I came up here to record, Janelle and I were watching the Muppets.
I'm glad we all thought the same thing at the same time. Anyways, I don't know why were we bullying Noah?
Anyway,
and Rao.
Can I introduce myself now? Yeah, I'm Jess. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on social media at Kawaii Jessio. And my gender this week is Ragnar Vizsla's no good, very bad day.
So true.
Like, imagine you start off your day, you're having a good time, you know, you're sparring, and you're like, yeah, I'm the constant winner, I am the best. And then your weird uncle that almost got kicked out of your like family comes back with his baby, and he's like, my baby's gonna fight you. And then you're like, okay, we'll play paintball, and then the baby fucking shoots you 3 times, and so now you're the loser, and you're like, damn, I lost. And as you look out sadly across the lake, a fucking dragon shows up and snatches you. Also fucking swallowed you whole to spit up to their babies later on, so.
Also, during your fucking baptism.
Oh yeah, during your baptism.
You got your ass beat by
gator.
Yeah, like POV, you get baptized, and during it you get your ass beat by a giant gator, and then your fucked up uncle comes back with his frog child and is like, here, fight my child with a paintball. And you're like, are you kidding me? And then the child uses magic powers to beat your ass, and then you get captured for 12 hours in the stomach of a dragon. Like,
yeah, see, that's why it's Ragnar's no good, very bad day.
No, literally.
They should just move away from there.
Also that had to be longer than 12 hours, right? Like, there were multiple days. Like,
I think it was one day.
No, because Bo-Katan left. Bo-Katan left to go look for him, came back. Then the next morning they left. They went to the cliff, and then they spent another night there, and then climbed up in the morning. That's like, what would that be? Like, over?
Yeah,
that's like almost 48 hours.
That is what happened.
I thought it was just the scene started at the beginning of the day.
No, because remember when her ship's chasing it, they're going into the horizon. Like, the sun is setting when she's chasing the bird originally. And then she turns around and is like, oh my god, guys, I know where he is. And they're like, cool, we will sleep on that and go in the morning. I'm Noah. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me on social media at The Jewish Jedi. And my gender this week is Grogu's fucked up little backflips. I'll just say this. I know that they're not supposed to look amazing, but oh my god, this episode they looked awful. I was like, they fully threw a puppet over this child.
And you know what? I think that's returning Star Wars to its roots, because you watch the original trilogy and some shit is it's just clownery. It's just stupid. And I was like,
oh, it was like funny as shit. I just thought that they were like, Grogu is learning to fight, and then they're like, here is a horrible CGI blob rolling over in the air.
It was so bad, it was good. Because I was laughing my ass off.
It was camp.
I was just about to say, that was the epitome of camp. Well, I don't know if it's the epitome. I don't know what Susan Sontag would say about that. However,
I was like, okay, looking camp directly in the eye.
Okay, but that was
camp.
No, but okay, looking camp directly in the eye, that was camp. She had a grandiose artistic gesture that ultimately failed of its own reasoning. That was incredible.
So true.
I'm sorry. I'm a defender that Karlie Kloss is the only one who got on theme for the Met Gala that year. She flopped, and that made it incredible. The rest of you clowns are just putting on outfits.
Hi, my name is Mel. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me on social media at Melvin Culpa and on TikTok at Grunkle Rex. And my gender this week is Jimmy Kimmel's Nepo baby is not worth all of this. Because he is Nepo baby times 2. Not only is he Jimmy Kimmel's baby, so he's experiencing that nepotism, he's also experiencing the nepotism of being Paz Vizsla's son. In this essay, I will.
You're so right, though. He is the epitome of a Nepo baby.
Wait, is the actor is Jimmy Kimmel's son?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes, he was also in Book of Boba Fett as the Tusken Child.
You didn't know this, Klaudia?
We talked about it on the podcast.
Mima!
I didn't realize. Wow, the Disney when Jimmy Kimmel signed his life away to Disney, I think he's also signed away his firstborn child.
No, so true. Also followed by, you know what? This is how I'm gonna push my agenda. Lou Wilson's on Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Shut up!
I'm just saying, Lou Wilson in The Mandalorian. Sha-na-na-na! You bitches need to watch Dropout TV. Stan Game Changer. It's changing reality television as we know it.
Before we get into the episode, last week we talked briefly about sort of the political aspects of what the episode was talking about and about people who were living in the post-Empire world and how they felt about that. And in kind of like a throwaway line, I was like it's sort of creepy that they're like, I miss anything about the Empire, like, because you shouldn't. And we received an ask about that basically was like, I think that topic should be treated with a lot more complexity because there are a lot of nations where the reality is there are things to miss about those prior institutions. And we have talked about those topics with, I think, probably a pretty strong degree of nuance before. That was more just like something I was joking about at the time and not really like a salient point I was attempting to make. So we have talked about that before, though, in like a more, I think, nuanced and more accurate, balanced way.
Absolutely. I recommend checking out like our Andor episodes. I don't know if we get into that topic specifically as that niche way, but I think that pretty well covers a lot of our feelings about imperialism and the ways in which people are affected by it.
There are a lot of conversations to be had about how you focus on the fall of a regime and how those working for the regime have to then integrate into society. There is a lot of conversation to be had there. But in like an hour and a half podcast episode, unfortunately, it was just something that we didn't, with everything else going on, we just didn't take the time to cover it. If something like this comes up again, like when we talk, if we go back to this storyline, I'm sure we will talk about it more. But rest assured that was not, that line and that conversation did not exist with the intention to be like, this is our encompassing view of what this situation is. So rest assured, we love nuance here on RuPaul's Pod Race. Anyway, let's talk about a big ass bird.
The bird dragon.
I just want to say, a lot of people are like, oh, they need to leave this planet. Like they need to leave this planet. There's too many. I'm like, they're refugees. They're going wherever they can go. What they can do though is stop shooting into the animals. Like as like they show them like with their little fight practice, whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's why you're getting your ass beat by giant animals, because you're shooting into their habitat. Like I get it. Like you guys are weapons of your religion, but you guys have lived on planets. Like, there's animals. Like maybe I thought survival skills would be a part of your fucking training. Like, no wonder every single animal wants to beat your ass. And they're like, yeah, I shoot into their habitat every single day, and then I do baptisms in the fucking water and expect something not to come out and beat my kid's ass. I just think they're kind of stupid.
I would just like to say, living in Nevada is just like that. They really can't help it. If you've ever been to the state of Nevada, it's just, that's how it is. And to that point, a line that I found really funny in this episode, like incidentally, I think it's Paz who says it, is he's like, if we get too close, it will eat the foundlings. It's done that before. And I'm like, wait a minute. This isn't the first time that the giant bird has stolen a child from you. Like, what are you talking about? You've lost more than one.
It's not even just one line, because I watched the episode like a second time with my sister, because I watched it by myself and then with my sister. They mention it like twice. Like, yeah, once with the armorer when they're like, oh yeah, we can't use explosives and stuff because it could kill the foundling. They're like, and they kind of mention like, oh yeah, this has happened before, so we know we're not supposed to use explosives because it will kill the foundling. And then yeah, again when they're actually at the nest and they're like, yeah, we can't use the explosives because it's taken other foundlings and they died. And just like, y'all need to get better security for this, I guess, because if you don't want to leave, at least take more like precautions against the giant dragon birds snatching up your kids. Like, you're gonna lose all your kids at this rate if you're gonna not leave.
I'm just saying, Tatooine is not looking so bad now.
Right? Okay.
Shut up.
That's
I
so
was
true.
literally just about to say that. Like, they have some fucked up animals, but if you got, like, some Tuskens and Cobb Vanth, they'll help. It's fine.
Yeah, Boba Fett would help you guys too.
This is how we're going to get Cobb Vanth back in The Mandalorian and fulfill my greatest destiny, is just have all of them go, you guys, wait, we should all move to Tatooine outside Cobb Vanth's house.
No, because Boba Fett Season 2 being about the refugee crisis, let's talk about it.
Okay, also, I'm so sorry, but the idea that Din is, like, next week's episode is going to be Din being to the armor, like, you know, I'm, like, kind of worried about Grogu. Kids keep getting snatched up. There's so many creatures. He's little. It's like, you know, those dogs that have special outfits that they wear so they don't get picked up by
Angel
birds?
power?
Yeah, exactly. But, like, Din is like, yeah, I'm getting kind of worried about, like, the kids. Maybe we should get someone who knows how to, like, kill a large animal, and they bring, like, they bring the Tuskens and Cobb Vanth to come
I was gonna
stop
say,
them.
they're like, hey Boba, can we borrow your friend Danny Trejo?
So true. Danny Trejo in The Mandalorian 1, followed by... I'm just imagining, also, you know how Grogu got that little, like, the little chest plate this episode? Now I'm just imagining him with a Beskar foraged Elizabethan collar. So A, he doesn't bite bitches, and B, they can't pick him up. Or they could. That might actually make it easier to pick him up.
When they put that little, like, new armor on him, like, they already put it on top of chainmail, and they already, like, they're slaying dragons, whatever, and I was like, what in the Game of Thrones is happening? But then I realized, I was like, he really is just dressing up his child to go to the Renaissance Fair, and I just was like, oh my god, Grogu's just like me for real. Like, my parents were also dressing me up in outfits that I only kind of fit in to go to the Renaissance Fair, and I'm just kind of obsessed with this idea that, like, he's wearing a potato sack with, like, a full Renaissance Fair outfit underneath it.
I'm just thinking about how heavy that is all now. Like, so, you know, when Grogu finally takes off that armor, his flips and his, like, little jumps are gonna be, like, lightning fast. You're not gonna even see him coming.
He's like Mary from Psych with his weighted ankle.
I was gonna say he's like
waist.
Rock Lee from Naruto. If you've ever seen the Rock Lee and Gaara fight,
He's leaving
in
after
Naruto.
images. Yeah, no, he's like basically teleporting around the arena. No, okay, because now Din is like, I can't let Grogu get captured, not because he'll get digested, but because if they drop him in water, he's going to sink. Like,
Just like his father.
True. Maybe that is protection, though, because a creature would come try to pick Grogu up and it would grab it, and then it would, like, comically get, like, clotheslined because Grogu's so heavy it can't lift him. Maybe Grogu is just, like, has to use the Force to walk because it's, like, holding him down.
I'm seated for Grogu getting applied like Mjolnir logic, where it's like only certain people can lift him up.
Din actually benches like 800 pounds. That's something that they don't talk about a whole lot in this show, but that's actually, I did the math on how much Grogu weighs, so, you know.
No, because Bo like goes to like grab him or something and is like, what the fuck? Like, how are you doing this?
My former dog Toby was like this, where like you ever have a small dog and
Heavy enough that he sinks in water?
No, wait, you said your former dog. I assume the dog has passed, but it sounds like you broke up, like you got like
you got fired.
I'm so sorry. I just meant that he, like, I've had many a small dog, and they were, like, relatively light, but Toby, like, he was like a bowling ball, so you'd be like, oh, let me pick him. Why is he so heavy? And I feel like that's Grogu.
Did you see anyone really pick him up after, like, they put the armor on him this episode? He's just walking around. They're like, no, that kid's too heavy. That's too much for me.
It's gonna be so fucked up when Din gets back, and it's like, hi, Grogu, and goes to pick him up and can't, and he's like, oh god, they grow up so fast! And because obviously Din is, like, not changing his clothes. First of all, can we get Grogu, like, some shirt and some pants? Can we get him a new outfit? Because, like, he's been wearing that damn potato sack for so long, but Din's gonna pick him up and be like, Oh my god, he's getting so
He's
big.
been wearing that potato sack for more than 20 years.
No, literally since before Order 66.
I also, where was his tactical stroller? Because the fact they let him just run around on that beach.
The armorer and them are probably like, no, you gotta do your training. You can't be in your stroller anymore, kid. You gotta fucking walk like the rest of them.
Never mind the fact that he's... No, literally his little waddle. No, because we need to talk about this. Because in the episode, right before Ragnar gets his ass got, like... that entire fight was like, what the fuck was the point of this? Because Din's like, no, he has to prove himself. And meanwhile, Grogu is like, Grogu, I was fully expecting the child to try to fucking punt him.
Okay,
please.
No, because I saw a tweet, I don't remember from who, but it was a picture of like the judge guy of Din being like, he needs to fight, and the judge being like, my brother in Christ, he is 2 apples tall. He cannot be here.
I will say it was a reference to Empire Strikes Back when Yoda's like, size matters not, whatever, and then flips over Luke in a very corny little thing. Like, it was a reference, but in context, it really was giving like Din Djarin bringing his kid to Taekwondo and being like, I don't think this kid should be at this level of class.
No, okay, I've just realized what it's reminding me of. It's reminding me of like a elementary school wrestling competition, and like Grogu is not in the same weight class, except for he's wearing his 80 million pounds of armor, so suddenly he is heavy enough.
Okay, obsessed with that. Something else I will add is that they're like, okay, the judge is like, what weapon? And Din's like, oh, let the other kid decide. What the fuck if he had been like spear? Like, Grogu can't wield a spear. That's like Ragnar was like, bitch, the only weapon this child can wield is this fucking darts. Like, if I say anything else, I'm gonna look like a huge dickhead.
Ragnar is like, I choose gun. And Din's like, okay, actually, wait. Never mind.
If I was Din, I would have been like, Darksaber, and then just handed it to Grogu and let him at him.
He would have just fallen over. He can't lift that.
I just think I love how they're like, he is the first Mandalorian Jedi in millennia. He's playing paintball.
Also because when Din was like, I've seen what you can do, Grogu. You can show them. I fully thought that Grogu was gonna like force push Ragnar into like a rock or something. I was like, okay, force damn, choking. We're gonna get to this early.
Force choking.
Grogu throws Ragnar into the water and he's eaten by the big fucking alligator.
I feel like Grogu would have the vibe of like Cal Kestis in Fallen Order, who like he doesn't have any of the orders like, hey, you should be like kind to people. So like Cal Kestis just like murders animals and like beats the shit out of stormtroopers in a like fucked up dark side way, and that is giving very much Grogu. And I feel like he should do that to some kids in the kindergarten. I think that's funny.
That's why they had to remove him, because he was doing that shit he would have done that shit to Ben Solo.
No, but fucking also, you know when they are strapping the fucking dart shooter onto Grogu, it does take up his entire arm, because it's like wrist size for any normal child, but for Grogu, just like, hold on, now I cannot bend my little arm because this entire paintball shooter takes up the whole thing. Also, Bo-Katan being like, you're making him do this and he doesn't even know how to fucking use the weapon. Are you insane?
But Bo-Katan, she had that moment, and then she also had the moment later where she was like, all right, so we have to climb, and they were like, girl, that's a lot, and she was like, oh, like, it's hard, I grew up climbing, and I was like, don't rub it in that you got to grow up on Mandalore, like, girl, that's so mean. But also, like, the implication that they have like paintball versions of everything, I need like young Din Djarin playing paintball, or I need like young capture the flag, but I also need the vibe of like when you go to laser tag with your friends and your dad. Like I need that vibe with Din Djarin and Grogu. Like I need all of it. I need all of it. He goes to laser tag with like some regular non-Mandalorian friends, and then like him and Din Djarin are taking it like too seriously. But you know, to confirm that they are like, well, we said they were from Florida, and then we said we were from Nevada, but to confirm they're like backwoods paintball in it, it's so
Texas.
Pedro Pascal grew up in Texas, so I will not lie. If I could go to Galaxy's Edge and play Mandalorian dart paintball, that would be really fun.
Oh no, they got Klaudia. Everyone, we have to go now.
I wanted to talk about Ragnar also. When he looks at Grogu for the first, like when they're gonna fight, and he's just like, why doesn't he have a helmet? I was like, that really is little kid vibes of like them asking too many questions and just like, shut up, kid, stop asking.
He's supposed to be 13, which is funny also.
Is he? Is he
yeah.
supposed to be a 13-year-old?
That looks like a 7th grader.
Yeah. Which is like the same age that like Padawans usually like go from youngling to Padawan as well. I mean, they were obviously trying to do those comparisons there. I would like to issue a notes app apology to Ragnar. In our last episode, or maybe the one before that, I said that his helmet looked kind of like clown behavior, and it looked kind of stupid. But then, like,
and that's because it does.
It does. But then, like, when Vizsla was like, "That's my son, bitch, I'm a mother," and then, and then, like, he like grabs him or whatever, and like clearly their little outfits match. I was like, oh, okay, like I'll let you guys be corny together. And Ragnar, I'm really sorry that I clowned on your stupid little helmet that doesn't match your outfit. I'm sorry. It's your family culture. I should be canceled. I'm problematic.
Maybe they should get him a matching outfit then. Like, Paz, what are you doing? Your son needs to slay more. You need to get him a better outfit.
I would like to issue a formal apology to Vizsla, because I think that he is the goofiest character ever, and I loved making fun of him, especially in Book of Boba Fett. I was roasting his ass, and now I'm like, oh, he has a son. He's like a character. This is like what they tried to do with Hawkeye in oh my gosh, what is the name, in Age of Ultron, where they were like, nobody gives a fuck about this character because he's not comics Hawkeye. If he was comics Hawkeye, people would give a fuck. But they're like, nobody gives a fuck about this character, so we're gonna give him a family to make people care about him. It did not work for him. Not for me, at least. It worked for Vizsla, and now I'm like, he's a father, and he cares, and he respects other people. It's given him perspective. He's a lot like Din in that way. He just needed a son to make him care about the world.
I want to do the opposite of Ollie. I still do not respect you, Vizsla. I don't care if you have a son. I'll beat up you and your son. I don't care. No, I would not actually beat up Ragnar. He has done nothing so far.
Jess is like, I will punt you and your 13-year-old right into that lake. I'm not afraid.
I'll feed you to the fucking gator. I was so happy about the gator again. I know it's a different gator because the first one did get killed. But
Jess, I thought about you when the gator came on screen. I was like, oh my god, Jess is going to be so excited the gator is here.
What was really funny is, like, you know, at first when Ragnar had walked off to the edge of the water to be, like, sad because he's like, I got my ass kicked by a fucking baby. I was like, oh my god, I hope the gator comes back and, like, attacks this child again. But no, it was a dragon. And I was like, damn, I miss you. But I guess it's because they did kill you. And then later on in the episode, when they're near the water and the dragon is, like, falling into the water, right before, like, it gets eaten by the fucking gator, I'm like sitting there watching. I was like, I hope the gator just shows up and eats this dragon, like a la Jurassic World. And then literally after I said that, it happened, and I fucking started laughing in my room. And Janelle, who's sitting in my room, not watching the episode with me, but just chilling in there, was like, why are you laughing? And I was like, because my bestie, the gator, she came back.
I will say, I respect Dave Filoni for being like, I know it's Star Wars, but I'm going to just put whatever bullshit I want in it. Like, in the Clone Wars, he was like, yeah, fuck it. I like Godzilla. Let's do the Zillo Beast. And then he adds, like, the Darksaber.
I just realized that's why it's called the Zillo Beast.
Are you fucking for real right now?
No,
oh my god.
I just realized that too, Ollie.
Wait.
Can someone repeat that for me?
Noah, the Zillo Beast from Clone Wars? Because Godzilla.
Are you fucking serious?
Mel,
oh my god.
Mel, did you know that?
No, I did not. However, it's really important for me to state, never have seen that arc.
I didn't see that arc either, Mel.
Snow Beast arc is pretty good. It has some of Mace Windu's slayest moments.
I'm sorry that I didn't see that arc either. So
wow,
very
wait,
fun.
but his Zillo Beast isn't
fans.
even. Oh my god. I have beef with that as a Godzilla enjoyer, but
anyways, I was just like, things like, okay, the Zillo Beast, fucking, he's like, with the dark saber, he's like, yeah, fuck it, we're gonna make the Mandalorian, we're gonna do so much Arthurian legend. I know this is a samurai space western, but I've decided to make it Arthurian legend. Sorry, fam. And then this time around, he's like, you know what? Knight in shining armor. His son's wearing chainmail. He's wearing there's dragons. And then he was like, and what if it was Jurassic World? Fuck it. And I was like, you know what? I do respect the mixing of the genre. I respect it quite a lot, sir. I hope shonen anime is next. I mean, we already talked about Naruto, so you know, whatever.
I hope there's a musical episode next.
My God, that would rock so much.
No,
okay.
Grogu's
like da 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 ba da ba ba da. He has like a little cane. Din and Bo-Katan's barbershop quartet. Let's talk about it.
Here's what I want to say: if it was a musical, yes, if it was a musical episode, would it be like a Once More with Feeling from Buffy, where it's like there's a canonical reason they're all stuck singing, or would it be like a non-canon kind of thing, or would it just not be explained?
It would be canon. They would all sing for the entire episode, and then it's just never discussed.
It's like Psych the Musical.
Yes.
Alternatively, they do a thing like the Rogers the Musical, where there is like a diegetic musical in it, and it's like, I know we've joked about this before, where they were like a bad version, the Hamilton of Star Wars history, but like there's like a musical that has like inaccurate galactic history. I think it would be very funny about like a character we know and love.
Okay, that's why I have posited on this show, I believe on this show before, but definitely on Twitter, man, a Jedi musical.
No.
Okay. I just have when you guys were talking about that, the only thought that went through my head was, oh my God, wait, they could do, Bo-Katan and Din could do the Glee cast version of Kriff by Radiohead.
Okay, wait. I was about to say something and I've decided not to say it.
Tell us. You have to tell us.
I feel like Din and Bo are a lot like Santana. What's Chris Kurt?
Speak your fucking truth.
Wait, no, because is the armor coming up to Din in a hallway and be like, you know, your generation's so
like getting slushied.
So what? You like show tunes? That doesn't mean you're gay. It just means you're awful.
No, wait, everybody. I'm thinking now there's an episode of Glee in which Finn Hudson loses his virginity to Santana, and that is Din Djarin and Bo-Katan, because she is a lesbian, and he is like, I've never had sex before.
I can't with this.
Guys, I know, here's something I have to say, is like, I know a lot about Glee. I watched Glee when it was on, and I'm like, I don't feel like we can't start making Glee comparisons because it'll be all downhill for me.
Consider Boba Fett doing the Glee version of I Bust Your Windows Out Your Car.
I don't know why he would do it, but Boba Fett as Mercedes Jones is so real.
That's so... Wait, who's Tina?
No, because I could talk about how the writers treated Tina like shit. So
Fennec.
Tina doesn't have much of a...
Because the two most slay people, Boba and Fennec, Mercedes and Tina.
Yeah, and also they treated both Tina and Fennec low-key like shit.
Yeah.
Like, did not give them cohesive characters.
Yeah. And also, we know Boba is the most slay Mandalorian. He's slaying the house boots down just like Mercedes.
Yeah.
So
we really should talk about how Hollywood treats Asian women, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we probably should. Yeah.
I'm still living in the world Mel created where Din Djarin and Kurt Hummel are the same character. First of all, because that creates a universe where Din Djarin said, hi, my name is Din Djarin, I'll be auditioning for the role of Kicker. And it also creates a world in which there's so many fucked up things. First of all, who is Blaine and why is it by default Cobb Vanth?
Would he not wear that stupid gay little outfit?
He so would. Also, Cobb Vanth singing Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. I know it would give. I need it more than water and air.
Cobb Vanth saying, Katy Cats, can you put your paws in the air?
Wait. When Kurt, aka Din Djarin, sings Rose's Turn.
Din's turn? Wait, stop. That's really too good.
Wait, this is our silly episode, guys.
Because it was a silly episode of The Mandalorian. Like, we have nothing to say because it was fun. Like, I'm sorry. You know that scene where Santana comes up to Rachel Berry and just drags her for like 2 minutes? It's like in a really iconic monologue. I feel like it's in one of the later seasons.
It's in season 6.
She's dragging Kurt because he said she and Brittany should not get married.
Yeah,
because they're too young.
But also, who is the Rachel Berry of The Mandalorian?
Mel, I feel like you have something you want to say, but you don't want to say it.
Because it's controversial, and I'm afraid it's going to get me canceled. Because
no, but you've been right before. Say it. Say your truth.
Luke Skywalker.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
You are so right. Oh my god, wait.
No, because you're not going to tell me Luke Skywalker is joining like the student unions for classes that he is not in, for groups like Rachel Berry in the African American Student Union. That is Luke Skywalker because he's trying to get extracurriculars to prove that he is like, I can be a Jedi.
Luke Skywalker singing fucking Barbra Streisand.
Funny guy.
Wait. Is the Jedi Order Nyada?
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Obi-Wan played by Idina Menzel.
No, babe. Anakin played by Idina Menzel.
Oh.
What I wanted to say actually did have to do with the tangent. Yeah, a lot didn't happen in this episode, like in the larger like universe. I think this is the problem I have, is that I really enjoy The Mandalorian for the fact that like it does go off on these weird little tangents where it's just like, this is nothing. Go girl, give us nothing. But also it was fun. It was like an enjoyable little tidbit into this world, right? And so I think I really wish that this show had like even 4 more episodes. I think could really benefit it, because like I feel like in previous seasons, and this is why I think a lot of people are having issues with it this season, it's like there's like an overarching theme or idea that's going on, right? And season 3, we had that for a moment of Din being like, I need to go to the Mines of Mandalore and do that, but it got resolved so quickly. All of the girlies are like, oh my god, nothing's happening. And I'm like, okay, well, it's okay that nothing's happening right now. And especially because John said, you know, they don't have like an ending in mind for this, and there's the one natural conclusion is the sequel trilogy, or some god-awful Heir to the Empire adaptation. Really? I'm so afraid of that being what's going to happen. I have nightmares about it. I wake up in a cold sweat being like, oh, where's Pelion?
Because in the Bad Batch, they are on Mount Tantus, and I'm like, we can't keep going towards Heir to the Empire. Canon Thrawn, I'm rescuing you. I'm taking you away. As a podcast, are you advocating for there should be more filler episodes? Filler episodes are good, actually, because I do. I'm advocating for that.
I feel like it has to be very specific, like quote unquote filler, because like, yes, this was filler in the sense that nothing really happened super plot relevant. However, like I still feel like it was just more of like a character centric episode where we found out more about kind of like Bo-Katan's inner issues going on that she's processing, and also Grogu's, which I would also like to talk about that.
Well, I mean, isn't that what filler episodes are? Like, filler episodes, people call them filler, but like a filler means that it's not furthering the plot. It's usually furthering character or world building. And in this one, it was character for Bo-Katan and Grogu.
That's fair enough. I think I have just a twisted perception of it because the Bad Batch was just so much of just like bullshit nothingness.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is also why I'm like, I don't love the use of the term filler, because I'm like, I like this episode a lot because I felt like I got to see a lot of character development that I really enjoyed. Also, just because like Bo-Katan's connection to her own Mandalorian-ness is really fascinating to me, and I'm like really enjoying getting to like watch her sort of explore what is and isn't relevant to her. Like the scene where they were like, oh, well, like you're the hunting party leader, so like you get to have the campfire, and she was like, oh shit, this is really interesting. I don't know how I feel about this. Like that was a cool scene. I also love that when the armorer was like, you didn't see a mythosaur queen. I hope this helps. Like I enjoy. But like, I don't know. I like the character building stuff. This episode didn't have a lot of plot, but also to Mel's point of like having more episodes, yeah, I think it does. I think it could really benefit from having like more time, because I think a lot of what the season is trying to be about is like Mandalorian identity and like how do you relate to your culture? How do different people relate to your culture? But also they seem sort of like unwilling to actually like dive headfirst into those themes. So instead we're sort of like skimming the surface a little bit, which I don't totally mind, but it is a critique that I have.
I always like to think of like purpose and like purpose within a franchise and all this kind of stuff. And like, you know, when we're thinking, because I know people are having conversations about right now about like, you know, there should be more Star Wars movies, or what's the point of Star Wars TV shows and like all this whatever, and not just in Star Wars whatever. And for me, I'm like, the benefit of a TV show is that you can marinate in something and you can stay there for a little bit. A movie has a specific structure and tells a story in a certain amount of time, and you fit the story. I like fitting the story to the medium, and the problem with TV has been they haven't been doing that a lot lately. And what is compelling, especially in Star Wars, and I like, is often when we do Star Wars TV, it is usually using a character or a set of characters as the focal point to examine a particularly tumultuous time in galactic history. So obviously in the Clone Wars, we have Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ahsoka, and the clones as the focal point to look at that point in history. You know, in the Bad Batch, it's the Batch themselves to look at the transition into, you know, from the Republic into the Empire. For the Mandalorian, it's what does the transition time like, what does it after Return of the Jedi, what does this look like? And it's through the eyes of two refugees, two survivors of two different genocides, and like figuring out what their culture and what it means to them in a society that is trying to figure out what they are about. And the whole, and like, so last time we had like, what's the general political vibe? Right now we have like, here's the kind of the cultural vibe of these two cultures, the Jedi and the Mandalorians. Like, the whole point of having a TV show is so that you can marinate and explore those things, because in a movie you don't have the time to do that. Like, that's the whole reason we're here. So that's why when Mel's like, yeah, like we should have more episodes, whatever, it's like, yeah, because why the fuck else are we here then? Like, if you just want to tell a straight up story, then make a movie. You know what I mean? It's like, I like when and we've talked about this when we were like, yeah, I think the Book of Boba Fett should have been, you know, an arc in a larger TV show, whatever. Like, the whole point is that we're examining a point in time and we're vibing, whatever. So we're doing character development, but we're also doing world building. We're also like, we're using these characters to explore what does the Star Wars mean at this point in time. And I think that that's interesting. So when people are like, oh, it's not going anywhere, whatever, I'm like, I would like them to have a plan maybe, but that's a different story. But I'm like, also we do know where it's going. Like, they're telegraphing Dr. Pershing, because like, obviously Grogu's ass is gonna get got again. Let's be real. Like, we know what's occurring. And you know, all of that. But
this time he can throw hands.
Yeah, but this time Grogu's gonna throw hands, and he's wearing weights.
So when Thrawn tries to punt him into the moon, he can fight back. That's season 8 of The Mandalorian, guys. I've guessed it.
8? We better not be getting 8 of these. What if they try to turn this into like the Star Wars Game of Thrones and ends up having like 8 seasons, but it's like half the runtime?
They got 3 dragons now too. Remember, they're like, oh, we got some new foundlings for you guys.
That was funny as shit, because I was like, is Bo-Katan ship a clown car? Where the fuck were those?
In Axe Woves' room.
They were in the overhead compartment, guys. Come on. Y'all know how planes work?
AKA Axe Woves' room.
Okay, I'm sorry. Axe Woves be like, good night, guys, lying down in the overhead compartment.
He's luggage, a lot like Rhys Silas.
That's where they were.
Okay, have we considered that Axe Woves is a descendant of Rhys Silas?
Shut the fuck up.
Do we want to talk about the Order 66 flashback?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That gave.
That slayed.
I'll be real. Originally, when the banging was happening, and I was like, oh great, we're going back to Order 66. I'm so excited to see it for a 90th time in the same show. But then it actually was like very slayful and a wonderful experience, and I really enjoyed it.
I just want to say, number 1, I cried. Number 2, I do love that they finally gave us some more information and that they're like, Grogu is having a PTSD flashback, but also like we see like also when Din got new parts of his armor, we saw flashbacks of his trauma. I don't know what all that's about, but anyway. But I did like how like, you know, this is a big thing. Like, who saved Grogu in the like it's a big thing, and they were like, yeah, we're not going to string it along anymore. We're going to show it, whatever. And I just have to say, for all of Dave Filoni's faults, for all of his criticisms, you know, his whole job has been, I am the Ahsoka to George Lucas's fucked up Anakin. I will be spending my life and my career fixing his wrongs. And he has made many a masterpiece, The Clone Wars, The Rebels. But I'm sorry, his best work has got to be giving Ahmed Best a role where he is slaying the house boots down and you can see his face, because fuck you, George Lucas, for giving him Jar Jar Binks. I was like, Dave Filoni, this is your biggest slay ever. I'm sorry, you win. Also, and then for him to like pick up another lightsaber and start dual wielding, you know what? Some fan service is good. Also, hi Star Wars fans, that is what a cameo actually is. Not a character that exists showing up.
I'll have you know that this was not just a cameo. Kelleran Beck is already an existing character in Star Wars from the Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge, because David Filoni respects visual media only.
Listen, I knew that Ahmed Best had played a Jedi at some point, didn't know where, didn't know he had a name. So seeing him, first of all, was very exciting, because the moment he came on screen, I gasped. But I also want to talk about his drip.
Literally?
His gold embossed robes. I'm like, okay, High Republic stan. Okay, how come none of the other Jedi were serving?
It's because he stands Comac Vitus and Orla Jareni. Kelleran Beck was standing them.
Kelleran Beck and Obi-Wan Kenobi are in the Orla Jareni fan club on Coruscant. It's only the two of them.
So what are our final thoughts on the episode?
I thought those big fucked up birds were really funny, and I also really want to see the Glee AU of The Mandalorian, specifically because I want to see Pedro Pascal sing Rose's Turn. That's all.
And he would slay it, to be fair.
He would really give. Also, I do feel like him... I feel like, okay, I don't know if they ever performed Chicago in Glee, but the idea of Djarin playing Roxy Hart, yeah. I want Djarin to play Roxy Hart.
Absolutely.
I'll say that.
My final thoughts on the episode, I thought it was good. I thought it was really fun. I really liked playing in this space where it's like, we're getting to learn about the characters because they're doing silly little things. And I'm also like, was not expecting, we all saw like Dave Filoni wrote this episode alongside Jon Favreau. So I know we were all kind of expecting there to be a bunch of like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Blah, 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 blah. I was really excited, but like, I feel like we got a good mix of like lore and a good mix of character building. I was tickled by this episode. I liked it.
Yeah, I will say my one thing is whenever I see Dave Filoni's name, I'm like, where the fuck is Sabine Wren? It's a show that's called The Mandalorian, and I haven't heard a peep about her.
There's another Dave episode coming up.
Literally, if I don't see nor hear, and we already talked about Satine needing to be mentioned, if I don't see or hear about Sabine Wren fucking quickly, because that's another kind of Mandalorian, I will start throwing hands. My general consensus on this episode was, I hope Kelleran Beck, I hope you get a book, I hope you get a comic, I hope you get a spin-off TV show. I'm obsessed with your mind. Ahmed Best, Hive, let's go. I'm really obsessed with thinking about the implications that like they already had some shit ready to go. I hope he is in that little Jedi smuggling pipeline with Quinlan Vos. I hope he meets the Mantis crew. I think they would really vibe. Anyways, and I like when Star Wars is silly and stupid and everyone's like, oh, it's boring, whatever. I'm like, well, maybe you guys just don't like when people address their trauma and figure their shit out and go hunt stupid little animatronic animals, because I think that's fun, and I think TV does have to get back to being silly and stupid. So maybe you guys just hate fun.
Don't rain on my parade.
It is time for our favorite segment, Name That Ship. This is a segment where one of our hosts or one of our listeners will send us a fan fiction that has a fun, interesting, innovative main ship. We will read off the tags, the characters, any relevant information, so our co-hosts will have to guess who the main ship is. Are we ready to play?
You know I am.
Okay. I have one today that was sent in by a listener. They are the Moa Bird on Tumblr, TheMoabird on Tumblr. Thank you so much for sending this in. Something I will also say, this is written by someone, a fan fiction author who I have read fan fictions from before, who I very much enjoy. So I'm very excited to bring this. I think this is an amazing fan fiction. I've read it. I'm obsessed with it. Like, I say this with 100% sincerity. So this is Character A / Character B. Character A, Character B. Mentions of other characters. Morning cuddles. Attempted lazy morning. Fluff. Established relationship. Character A is husband shaped. TM. Implied morning after. There's like a bit of angst, but it's mostly fluff. And that's it. I feel like there's no other relevant information that I can give you that won't give it away.
Damn,
Okay.
this is hard.
So, would you say, are these two characters that have interacted in canon before?
No, they have not. I feel like it's one that when you hear the combination, you're like, oh, I could see where they could have interacted, but they're not characters who you would assume have any sort of association whatsoever.
Is one tech?
One is not tech. No.
I had to say it before Noah because it was like Noah will bring up tech.
No, I said I liked this, so
I was going to ask you one of them was Helen Richardson, but alas.
Yeah, it's actually Helen Richardson / Obi-Wan Kenobi.
This is perfect. Wait, they could get along, actually.
No, they fucking would not.
Is it
anyway?
2 men.
It is 2 men. Thank you, Klaudia.
Is Din Djarin one of them?
No.
Is any of them a Mandalorian?
No.
A Jedi?
Yes, one of them is a Jedi. Character B is a Jedi.
But not
Is
the
it
character
Quinlan
A.
Voss?
It's not Quinlan Voss. And character A is not a Jedi.
It's 2 men. Are they characters from the prequel era? Clone Wars era?
Yes, from the prequel era. And Clone Wars, yes.
Okay.
Anakin Skywalker.
Not Anakin Skywalker.
Are they both human?
Neither of them are human.
Oh, I was gonna ask, is it Rail Alvaros?
I would love for it to be real. Guys, we need more Rail Alvaros fics. So if anyone has any, send them my way.
Rail Alvaros X-Reader.
So true.
Is one of them Yoda?
Neither of them are Yoda.
Okay, so they're both not human.
Zeb.
From the Clone Wars prequels era, Jess.
Okay, he was alive then.
Zeb might be alive.
No,
Zeb probably alive, actually.
Zeb was alive, but he was not in the film.
So these are characters who were introduced in the Clone Wars or the prequels. Were they introduced in the Clone Wars or the prequels?
Both were introduced in the movies. One of them was in the Clone Wars.
Is one of them Kit Fisto?
No.
Plo Koon.
But one of them is Plo Koon. Character B is Plo Koon.
Shit.
Okay, so and the other tag was that character A is husband shaped.
Yes, correct.
And character A is from the movies? Or no, characters... Oh, because Plo Koon does technically show up in the movies.
Oh, yeah, no, I said they're both in the movies.
Oh.
But only Plo Koon has been in Clone Wars. This other character has not been in Clone Wars.
Is it?
But this other character has been in other pieces of media.
Dexter Jetster.
It is Dexter Jetster. So this is Dex.
Wait, no,
it's Dex / Plo Koon. It is just like a tender like morning after where they're just kind of cuddling and hanging out.
All right.
It's like I really am obsessed with it. It's by an author who has written a lot of like Plo Kit. So I really like it. This is called In the Eye of the Beholder by Penguin Kiwis on AO3.
Okay.
So, yeah, I would recommend it. It's a very fun read.
Also, extensive amounts of Plo Kit and you haven't sent links to me?
I went on a Plo Kit deep dive, honestly, probably before we even met Klaudia, which feels so long ago. But I'll get some stuff. I'll get you the goods. And with that, thank you so much for joining us this week for RuPaul's Pod Race. Episodes usually drop on Sunday. For updates, Star Wars news, more curse shit, you can follow us on social media at RuPaul's Pod Race. Do you want to ask us a question? You can send it to our TikTok Q&A, Tumblr Askbox, or you can email us. We're roophelpspodrace@gmail.com. If you really love the show, please rate and review it on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, Overcast. Tell a friend who might be interested. Those all really help us spread our agenda. And without further ado, may the force be with you, and don't kriff it up.
Waka waka.
This is
Waka waka.
This is the Waka Waka.